Hello everyone, I'm Treffy Friend, but you can call me Treff. If you're new here, I'm an artist. I make comics, animatics, and illustrations. I'm trying something new this time, filming my traditional art process and recording voiceover commentary for it. Thanks for checking it out. Today, I'm filling a sketchbook spread with doodles of Pokemon. The first Pokemon I'm drawing is Psyduck. Psyduck is my absolute favorite Pokemon. I think if I lived in the Pokemon universe, I'd definitely have one as my partner. Like me, Psyduck always has a headache, so I really feel a kinship with them. For my process here, I sketched with a rainbow pencil and inked it with a purple fountain pen. I wanted to color everything with watercolors, but I kind of forgot that this pen is not waterproof, so it did reactivate and start to bleed into my colors. I kind of like that effect sometimes, and I think it does work here, but it did make me start to panic at first. But I persevered. Next, I drew Buzzwole. It's not my absolute favorite Pokemon the way Psyduck is, but it's definitely one of my top few. I don't know why, actually, since I hate mosquitoes and kind of bugs in general, but I do think that Pokemon that are essentially just buff men are kind of funny, so it's probably because of that. This is probably my favorite drawing from this whole spread. I just think it looks nice. The bleed from the pen really worked for Buzzwole's color palette. Now I'm drawing a Heracross. I wasn't sure what Pokemon I wanted to draw for this video, so I asked my friends for suggestions. So that's most of what the rest of these are. I am afraid of bugs in real life, but bug-type Pokemon are pretty cool. I like them a lot. Beedrill is probably my favorite Gen 1 bug, though. I think it'd be pretty cool to just be walking around and have a pet bug that's almost as big as you are. I think Heracross is cool because it's based on a beetle, and that's my favorite family of bugs. I'd say I'm pretty neutral about Stunfisk as a Pokemon. I like the design and colors, especially Galarian Stunfisk, but that's not the one I drew because I thought the colors would kind of clash with what I already had going. I remember when I was playing Pokemon Sword, I think that was my first time encountering them in-game. I was really stressed out every time I thought I was picking up an item, but it turned out to be a Stunfisk. So admittedly, I do have a bit of beef with them because of that, but I do think I've grown enough as a person that I can forgive them for their past crimes. Now I'm drawing a Rowlet since my friend asked me to, but I really love Rowlet and its evolution line also. When I played Pokemon Moon though, I picked Litten as my starter, and then in Legends Arceus I went with a Cyndaquil, because I tend to gravitate toward fire types. So even though I love this little guy, I missed out on playing with one in every game it's been in. I wasn't really thinking about the pose when I was sketching, so it ended up looking kind of disappointed or embarrassed. That wasn't on purpose, but later toward the end when I add more decorative elements, I did lean into that a little. This scraggy drawing is kind of where things went wrong for me. I was really excited to draw one since I have several friends who really like them, but I wasn't very happy with the sketch, and I thought inking it would fix it, but my inks didn't work out because the sketch wasn't great. And then I was like, well, I'm committed, maybe colors will save it, but you'll remember that, the watercolors make the lines bleed, and I didn't like how the lines bleeding looked, so it just got worse. I did finish the drawing, but it was at this point that I considered just scrapping the video. I was really not happy. So I took a break from filming to reconsider my life's choices, and during that time I remembered that this is my sketchbook and I can do what I want. So here I got a separate sheet of paper and drew a new Scraggy on it. His head and face are kind of deceptively difficult to draw, so I had to keep starting over. But once I was happy with it, I inked it with some brush pens I have and colored it with colored pencils. It's closer to my usual process, so it went a bit easier. I cut the drawing out and taped it on top of the old one with washi tape, and I like it way better than before. As a former horse girl, I had to draw a Mudbray. Actually, a friend suggested this one too, but I am a big fan of this evolution line. Mudsdale in particular is super cool because I love a giant horse, but Mudbray is pretty cute as well. I like this drawing a lot too. I think at this point I was pretty warmed up. I haven't drawn in my sketchbook or even on paper in a while, so I was out of practice. still felt like there was too much empty space, so I added a Wiglet. I don't know why Wiglet. It's not a Pokemon I ever think about, but I felt the shape of it worked here. It was pretty simple to draw. Then I drew a Ditto. I like Ditto a lot because it's purple and kind of funny looking. I've been thinking about it a lot though because I've been playing a lot of Poké recently. The game is super fun and the post-apocalypse has been driving me kind of crazy. I think I want to make more fan art, so maybe stay tuned for that sometime in the future. Then I added a Wooper to fill more empty space. Wooper used to be one of my favorite Pokemon when I was a kid. It's not as much anymore. Like, I still like it, I just like other Pokemon more. I think Paldean Wooper is more my thing now. I like the colors a lot better. And I like Clodsire too. At this point, I thought the sketchbook spread was pretty much done. I just added a few more decorative doodles, and since I had my tape out, I added some to fill more empty space. And then I was done. So here's the finished piece. Thank you so much for watching. This is a new sort of video for me to make, but I had a lot of fun. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking or commenting to help me out in the algorithm. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I post animatics and speed paints. My uploads don't have a specific schedule yet because I am a full-time student and super busy, but I have a lot of interesting stuff I'm planning to share. So subscribing will help you see that when it comes out. Also, if you'd like to do a little more to support my work, I have a Ko-Fi, Coffee, however you pronounce it, where you can tip me or commission me for a sketch or portrait. These make good profile pictures if you're in the market for that. I also have a Patreon with a few subscription tiers. All my patrons get to view my videos early and get to hear from me every week. I make blog posts where I share works in progress and some art I'll probably never post to my main socials. Which, speaking of, I would like to thank my first patron, Hillary. Thank you so much for your support. It means a lot to me. You can find me on Instagram at treffyfriend.art and Tumblr at treffyfriend-art. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye!